Okay, hello everybody. Um, I'm Flair and I used to play this game for a long time ago, back in 2000, between 2005 or something like that. So that's my background, and I recently just got back into the game, and I just want to show you guys some nice little, I would say, a timing attack that I have been using in the ladder, and I like to call it the Haymaker move, but I will show you what I'm talking about just in a second. So this map is Circuit Breaker. This build is kinda meant to be used in Circuit Breaker or Fighting Spirit, because those are the maps that Terran usually plans to expand on the third and the fourth CC and just basically get the insane economy and just wait for the 2-1 timing push or even 3-3 max limit max upgrade army. So these are the maps that the Terran typically like to just kinda sit in their base and just defend and steamroll with you after the 2-1 upgrades are ready. And that's, of course, that's a good tactic, and we all have seen that in a ladder and other games if you have played Protoss. So why not, if it's a great way to play? So I don't mind. So basically, you don't have to do anything specific in the early game. You can just play normally, and the timing is meant to be hit when Terran is taking the third base and when they haven't made their factory explosion, and you should already have done your gateway explosion. And how do we get at that situation? Well, we kind of skip the technological aspect, and the gas collecting would be also nice to skip at least some degree. But yeah, you just kind of skip the corners to get the gateway explosion a little bit faster. Maybe even cut probes, and for example, if you would cut for like 2 probes on each 3 nexuses, and just instantly make your gateways and then continue on probe production, you should be able to get away with it nicely. It shouldn't matter that much in that specific timing. So pretty basic stuff. I'm going 3-gate robo, and I have my expansion building. Terran has a faster one because he kinda made it really fast. He's going fast academy. Well, I think he's kinda worried about DT, or he just wants to keep an eye on what I'm doing. So this is an overextension. Didn't need to lose the Dragoon. I was trying to be too eager to get the tank, but the barrack was placed perfectly. I couldn't kinda target it the right way, and just doesn't matter that much, but that was an overextension. So the Terran is kinda doing the normal stuff. After expansion we get the factory and armory, and he's going to start the weapon upgrades pretty soon. And I'm just basically playing the safe way. I'm making the Reaver and the observers, getting ready to take the third, and Terran is making the scanners. This is pretty fast scan. I'm sure he did build this because he wants to scan what I'm doing right away, and also if I would go to DD, he would have enough energy to scan the DDs, and I would have totally failed that. And here's a third CC. Of course, I'm not already at this point knowing it, but I will know it soon enough because the observer is coming. I could have built an observer first, or even skip the Reaver. The Reaver is kinda safe way to play. If the Terran would push you with 2 base timing 3-gate Dragoon Observer's Reaver is an awesome way to deal with that. And we can see the Terran is already waiting for the drop, so it's not going to surprise him or anything like that. And here's my third Nexus, and I could have started fighting with the Goliath, but he already was ready with the tanks, and I kinda suspect that because that's the way they play. So if I would drop the Reaver, this Goliath would try to shoot the shuttle down, and these tanks would try to clear my drop. So it's better to play it safe. But at least I did see the third CC with the shuttle, so I'm right on top of it. I right away know what he's doing. So now we are going to hit the 9-minute mark, and I have kinda secured my third Nexus. Terran is going to expand on the third, so I tried to challenge this, and actually he was not perfectly ready, and I was able to push him back. So that was nice. I tried the Reaver again, but not a chance to drop here. Of course, this small Dragoon force is not going to be able to hold the third CC long, but this is why we are exploding our gateways right now. And I don't really need this gas. It's just sometimes I skip it completely, sometimes I do it if I want to go to Arbiters or more tech heavy, but you can see that I can easily explode my gateway count at this point, and the Terran is now just re-securing the third. So limits are kinda normal. Protoss is always kinda a little bit ahead, but this is completely fine for each player. So at this point I'm just getting mass of gateways and mass of chilos, and I want to break this area, because usually Terran take this third and then they will slowly fall to that fourth, and then they will have tank line from here to here, and Supply was blocking this way, so it's kinda impossible to attack in any angle, and they will get 4 base and just steamroll you. But you can see he has a nice tank army, but just the pure amount of units that I have is able to break this area. So this is what you want to see with this build. You want to break the third, and you want to push the Terran back, and at this point it's kinda, it should be GG anyways, but in this game actually this guy is really holding on well, and I have a little bit hard time to finish the game, but the damage is just too much. At this point, even if your attack is hold, Terran already lost a lot of SCVs, and kinda all the army is gone. The tank count is reset to back to 2 tanks, and that's not what the Terran wants to see, because once you are able to reset the tank count, Terran has no weapons kinda to attack you. Of course they can do vulture runbys and stuff like that, but that's not the thing that's going to kill Protoss at this point. And what I'm doing, I'm not rushing to the 4 Nexus, and I'm just macroing my units and just rallying these guys to fight, and just trying to keep the CC up. And you can see the numbers don't lie, and the supply is actually doubled, and there's just no way that the Terran can bounce back at this game. So the timing is like I would say something around 11 minutes when the tanks are ready and the CC is landed, and the factory count has not yet reached enough high numbers. So you should be able to achieve that, especially if you are not collecting over gas such as I'm at the moment. So you don't need this gas, but I'm going to Arbiters. So just kinda skip all the decks and skip maybe a little bit, just not overproduce probes, don't get too fast forward, and kinda surprise at Terran with overblowing unit amount at the 11-12 minute mark or something like that. That's kinda the timing that's when Terran is probably the weakest. So soon after that they will explode their factory count and they will get too many units to be able to break for a Protoss without arbiters or carriers. So you can't wait too long. You want to just charge in when they don't have the production settled in and try to finish the game at that point. So it's also kinda timing that Terran is not expecting you to attack, because they are kinda waiting you to attack. They are using their siege tanks in a great position, and they kinda want you to waste your army to try to attack this defensive location. But if you are able to get the charge gelots, or I mean upgraded leg gelots, this is not Starcraft 2, in time and kind of faster than a normal game, then you can kind of surprise your opponent with this Haymaker move that I like to call it. But yeah, and keep in mind it's not an all-in. If this attack in 11:30 mark would have failed, what's saying that I just can expand here and just make the arbiters and just macro up my units? And why should I attack more if the attack failed? It's not an all-in. You have not lost the game even if you failed this first attack. And you can see at this point, even that now the Terran has surprisingly recovered and secured the natural again, the main base is just mined out and he's sitting with one mining base, and even this one is almost done. So what can you do? You would need to expand 2 more bases immediately, and even at that point I'm still healthy in the mining aspect, so you kinda out of options here. So what can you do? It's just a GG at this point, or it was of course already, but he's kind of trying to do some harassment. This is kind of nice moves, and you can clearly see that this guy is not a newbie. This is of course a 1950 ladder game or something like that, so it's kind of like in the A rank. So and the season is just started, so probably a solid player, but he just was caught off guard at the strange, or at least a little bit strange timing. Usually Terran kind of suspect you to go Bulldog, and you try to drop your Gelots on your shuttle and rush with the Dragoons, but that's not, I would say it's not as scary move as the one that I did with upgraded Gelot legs and Dragoon army that kinda just melted the Terran position. So yeah, he's trying to push out, but the army is just too small, and yeah, that's kind of the play. So you try to make a timing attack in 11-minute marks and get the game in control at that point with that move. So I have been successful with this build in a ladder. I haven't tested it too many times yet, but it kind of feels like a nice way to surprise Terrans in Circuit Breaker, which can be really hard map in the late game when Terra has full upgrades and full limit, and it just is hard for Terran to actually scout this build because it just looks like a normal game, except that you are a little bit skipping on the tech and you are not rushing into the Arbiter or Carriers. It's kind of like Gateway Man, but I'm trying to be a little bit faster Gateway Man. So yeah, so that's kind of the basic idea, and this can also be polished more. I could, of course, as I said earlier, just skip a little bit on the probes and get faster gateways, faster leg upgrade, and then again produce probes. So there is small tricks that you can actually still polish in this build. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and leave a comment below. And thank you for watching. Bye.